Okay, it looks like we are live. And so, today I will be opening the Clue Advent Calendar. It's a escape room puzzles style, mystery puzzles. And I'm doing it early because I'm trying to write a review to publish it so that people can get their own in time for Christmas. And I published this on live stream, so if anybody already has it and wants to do it along with me, or if they want to watch the videos later in case they get stuck, maybe it can be helpful to them. So anyway, hello everybody. Here we go. We will be probably working on this for a couple of hours, so I don't know how many days we'll get through because there's 24 days, but I'm not going to do it one day at a time because it'll take me too long because I got to get a review out. So let's see how far we get. Okay, so I've taken out the plastic. I haven't seen what's inside yet. I have no idea what else we need, but we will figure it out together. So there looks like there's a whole board. It says it's a thrilling one-time play mystery. This game can only be played once, as you will need to fold, cut, and write on some puzzles. Recycle the paper and cardboard components when finished playing. So let's go. Okay, so there's all kinds of tabs to open. What happens when we do that? Oh, it unfolds out. Look at that. Okay, so there's a packet here with components. This looks like trash. And this looks like the classic Clue board with the different rooms. I have not played the Clue board game in years, so I barely remember what the actual game was like. But, you know, it's kind of part of popular culture, so we all know what a lot of them are. Here's all the different characters. And a menu, a whole bunch of information. Why don't we start with this package? They need a big sign saying start here because there's just so much to open and you don't want to open the wrong thing since it's an advent calendar. Okay, let's see. I presume this is an instruction book of some kind. So this is a solve wheel, I suspect. So you use it to figure out whether you've got the right answer for each day, maybe. Let's put this here for now. Here's a little envelope. I think it's empty. Game guide and the storybook. Okay, they say stop. Do not open the storybook or any calendar doors until told to do so. Start by reading these game rules. There we go. Let's move this over. All right. You have 24 days to solve this mystery. Bodhi Black is dead, a victim of foul play at his own winter party. Every guest is a suspect, and to solve the mystery of who put him on ice, you'll have to retrace the story of that night over the course of 24 days. Each day, you read a piece of the Clue story, I guess that's in the storybook, open a calendar door, and work together to solve a puzzle. The puzzle's answer will reveal which door to open the next day. Some doors include clue cards. On day 23, use the clue cards you have collected to deduce who killed Bodhi Black, where, and with what. It's just like the classic Clue board game. On day 24, open the door of that room to see if you cracked the case and won. Okay, so I guess we won't be opening these doors. What do you need to play? Advent calendar. Unfold this and lay it flat on your play space. You open doors on both sides throughout the game. The doors aren't numbered. You'll need to solve puzzles to figure out which door to open next. Detective board. Tudor mansion map. Cipher. For some clues, you use this in combination with the Tudor mansion map to figure out which door to open next. Envelope. Use this to store clue cards as you uncover them. You will review them all on day 23. And some puzzles require cutting or drawing, so you'll need a few supplies that aren't included. Scissors. Okay, I'm prepared for that. I have scissors. Pen and pencil. Got that. Scrap paper. It's in my clipboard over there. How to play days 1 through 22. Read that day's story. Each day has its own page in the storybook, starting with day 1 on page 3 of the storybook. Open that day's door. On day 1, open the center clue door. On days 2 to 22, the answer to the puzzle from the prior day will determine which door you open. Remove everything from the door. You'll always find one or more puzzle cards. It looks like a jigsaw puzzle. Maybe. Use these to solve the day's puzzle. Sometimes you'll find a clue card. Okay, it's just an icon with magnifying glass. These will help you piece together who killed Black. them over and store them in the envelope until day 23. Sometimes you'll find a character token. You'll need these for certain puzzles. After you finish this game, you can use these character tokens as movers in other clue games. So puzzle cards dispose of after solving, clue cards keep until day 23, and character token keep. Step 4. Work together to solve the puzzle. The answer to every puzzle is either a color, 3-digit number, or symbol. It is up to you to figure out what type of answer the puzzle has. See puzzles on page 6 for more info. Oh, there's a lot of information. Okay. Step 5. The answer determines which door to open tomorrow. Color answers will lead you to a specific character door. Make sense? Number answers will lead you to a specific room door. I don't know where those are yet. Symbol answers will lead you to a specific snowflake door. Okay, there's snowflakes on this side. Which door is next? See which door is next on page 7 for more info. Okay, so the room doors are these. That's all you need to know for now. Open the storybook to page 1 to start playing and refer back to these rules as needed. Sounds good? I will keep these nearby. And let's read day 1. Ready to play? First read the day 1 story on the next page. Next, follow the instructions beneath the story. Remember, puzzle hints are on the back of each day's page. Here we go. Oh, hello. Thanks for joining us. All right, let's go. Let's see. Day 1. It's the center Cluedo. It is a cold night in Hill County, and the towering Tudor mansion is frosted with snow and icicles. A colorful array of guests arrive one by one at the mansion's imposing front door, waiting for admission on the snowy step. They exchange pleasantries and some introductions, all of them confused as to why they have been brought here together. Solicitor Peacock, outfitted in a striking teal-colored cashmere coat, removes her hand from the warmth of a fluffy muff to check her watch. She taps her foot impatiently. The invitation said 6 o'clock. It's now 6:05. She glances at Mayor Green. You can't possibly tell me you have time for this. Is the sound okay? Just checking. I realize I should probably ask this right at the beginning. Can everybody hear me? Alright, if you can't hear anything, now if you can hear me, please place something in the chat. Alright, I'm going to keep reading. Green smiles just enough to make it count. I value Body's opinions. I can make the time. Value his campaign contributions more likely. Colonel Mustard rumbles in his deep baritone. Let me see. Let me know if you can hear the sound okay. Put it in chat. Value his campaign contributions more likely. Colonel Mustard rumbles in his deep baritone. Too bad the other candidate lost. The honest one. The sound is a little low. I can try. Let me put it up a little bit and hopefully it won't deafen you. Here. Hopefully you can hear me better now. Everyone loves money, darling. Miss Scarlet pats him on the arm, then peeks without shame through the windows into the hall. You yourself seem to have done quite well since retiring from military life. Another moment ticks by. Finally, Professor Plum moves to the front of the group and faces the door, which has a large wreath hanging on it. He looks back at everyone else and says with a slight shrug of apology, I don't want to appear impatient, but I do have a stack of manuscripts I must finish reviewing. Plum presses the doorbell and a dignified trill can be heard inside. Nothing happens, except that a scrap of paper previously resting on the leaves of the wreath flutters to the ground. Open the center clue door and remove all cards. Work together to solve the puzzle. See page 6 in the game guide to review how to solve puzzles. Consult the hints on the back of this page as needed. Once you think you've solved the puzzle, check your answer by reading the 4th hint on the back of this page. Alright, I'll read the rest when we get there. So, I've opened door 1. And there's a couple of cards inside. Okay. So this one looks like the wreath that they probably see. Okay. And this one has a note. Apparently, This crazy poet cares more about the number underlined of each word than he does about the meaning. So there's some numbers at the top: 9, 11, 20, 18, 32, 19, 28. So you have a poem here, and every word is labeled with a number in order. So like, in winter blooms not is labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. I can read you the whole poem. In winter blooms not more than I said first, but count with patience passing days and nights. Then finally acorns cast off the frost numbs worst, and fall's pine cones give way to berries bright. So they're talking about a bunch of things, but these numbers on top made me think I wish I should pull out the words of these numbers. So let's try that. 9 is first. First count acorns, then berries, finally pine cones. I think that's pretty clear. So first count acorns. So the number of acorns in this wreath, let's see if it can be seen clearly. Is it focusing? There you go. So the number of acorns I'd say is 2. Next, berries. No wait, next is, yes, that's right, there's berries. I made a mistake. That was 2 is not acorns. I was looking at pine cones. Acorns are the 1, 2, 3. 3 acorns. Okay, and then berries is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, perhaps. And then finally pine cones, which should be 2. So that gives us a 3-digit number 372. And if we have that, how do we use that? Okay, so number answer, room door. We have to spin this so that it shows the number, I guess. So we have first number 3, 1, 2, 3, 7. This is a lot like other escape room calendars I've done, so that's why I think this is probably how it works. And it gives the triangle, triangle, hexagon. And that is supposed to lead to a room. Now if we look at this, it leads to hall. Hall has triangle, triangle, hexagon. Maybe I should check the 4th hint to see if we're correct before I open it. And there it is. Hint 4 says triangle, triangle, hexagon. So let's do that. Oh wait, they also say to write the room number on the door so we know. So today was room 1 here. And then this one's room 2. Alright. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it looks like the cards from day 1 are labeled in the corner with 1, which makes it easy to check. And similarly, day 2, we've got 3 cards. In other advent calendars, sometimes inside, behind the doors, there's interesting stuff. This one doesn't look like there's anything interesting yet. Alright, so what do we have? Let's read the story for day 2. Day 2, hall. The door swings open to reveal the hall, a wide room tiled in marble. In a silk suit as dark as midnight, body black, the infamous heir to the Black family fortune can't help but stand out as he leans against a large round table in the center of the room. "Welcome to Tudor Mansion, my humble home." He grins and turns sharply on his heel, continuing to talk as he walks further into the hall. "I apologize for the theatrical entry. Well, actually I don't. I confess to a slight flair for the dramatic, and you'll experience many more twists before this night is over." Gesturing through an open door, Black continues. "Follow me to the lounge, where some snacks have been set out. Feel free to admire the room's decor while I finalize the last of the dinner preparations." Stepping into the lounge, and slightly confused by Black's abrupt introduction, the guests notice someone in a chef's coat putting the finishing touches on a beautiful cheese tray. Distracted by this, they barely notice when black slips away. The person turns to face the guest. As she does so, she fails to notice the well-worn note cards that fall out of her apron. I'm Chef White, the head of Mr. Black's kitchen. I was told to wait in here with all of you. All right, so let's pull up the 3 cards we have. One says, Body's favorite sauce. Blank sauce instructions. Pour olive oil into pan, stir in blank, generously season with blank, top with fresh herbs, stir in blank, drizzle completed sauce over pasta. So there's 4 blanks on this. Chef's notes. And then there's 7 different ingredients with descriptions. I think that would help us figure out what those blanks are. And then sauce ingredients, 4 ingredients for yellow sauce, red sauce, green sauce, white sauce. All right, so looking at, this is going to be a little complicated. Chef's note, use olive oil as the first ingredient in every sauce. Number 1 does use olive oil, so that note is taken care of. Sweet onions, stir in immediately after olive oil. So stir in sweet onions, that would be number 2. Now looking at the rest of the sauce ingredients, that eliminates green sauce because that sauce does not use sweet onions and the other 3 do. Green peppers, stir in immediately after olive oil. Do not pair with paprika. Okay, backtrack. Now we've got to figure out what the second ingredient is, either sweet onions or green peppers, because both of those go in after olive oil. But do not pair with paprika. We don't know yet if paprika is being used. Turmeric seasoning, do not pair with fresh herbs. What is fresh herbs in this sauce? Number 4 is not blacked out. Pair with top with fresh herbs. So we now have eliminated turmeric seasoning. So that eliminates yellow sauce and green sauce, because both of those have turmeric. So we now are left with red sauce and white sauce. Both of those are sweet onions, so that means number 2 is definitely sweet onions. Do I need to start writing this down yet? I think we can do this. I think we're just trying to find the color of the sauce. Paprika seasoning. Do not pair with green peppers. Well, we do not have green peppers because we've already eliminated green sauce. Heavy cream. Stir in at end. Let's see. Red sauce uses heavy cream. White sauces uses only cream cheese. Cream cheese. Stir in at end, but only after adding water. Well, looking at this ingredient list, it does not look like water was one of the ingredients, because it's pour olive oil in pan, stir in sweet onions, generously season with blank, top with fresh herbs, and stir in blank, which is either cream cheese or heavy cream. Which leads me to suspect it's heavy cream, and that red sauce, pardon me, and generously seasoned with paprika is the missing one, and the answer should be red. A lot of logic here, but I mean, it made sense. And let's take a quick look at the answers. Hand 4, red sauce. So that is correct, and the person we are looking for is in red, which is Miss Scarlet. So where's my pen? Let's put number 3 on here. How are we on time? It's 11:20, and we've done two rooms. So maybe we're projecting that we might get through half this puzzle calendar today if we don't hit any snags. All right, that's cool. Now day 3. So day 3, there is a bunch of cards and a token. This must be Miss Scarlet. Why is she blue? I wish it was red, but it's so cute. Let's see, can you see on camera? That's pretty cool. We'll leave this here for now. All right. Under. Make sure cards are over and under. So these parts go under, which means the other parts do not go under. I think we need to do some cutting. There's a little scissors icon here. Alrighty, let's, do we cut the whole thing? Cut it all the way through? I was going to think, yeah, I think so. Alright. Snip, snip. Alright, so here's a red triangle. Maybe match that with a red triangle. This one goes under the other red triangle. And similarly, there's a green square here. I feel like I should put a piece of blank paper so you can see this clearly. Let's redo this. Here we go. Red triangle right here. Green square right here. And orange star, and then tuck this one underneath. Okay, what have we created? Is that, it looks like a reindeer, frankly. Is this a snowflake pattern? I forgot to read the story. Alright. Day 3. Miss Scarlet pops a smoked salmon puff into her mouth and looks at Chef White. How delicious. Compliments to you, I assume. White performs a gracious half bow, whether sincere or mocking. Not even Scarlet can tell. Yes, thanks. It's a new recipe I've been developing. White glances around the room nervously. I plan to open my own restaurant soon. I have almost all the funds saved up, but the menu will need to be perfect. Cooking for Bodie Black's party of one doesn't offer many chances to experiment, so I like to test new recipes whenever more refined guests come to visit. Speaking of which, he asked me to entertain you for a few minutes, but we'll need to head into dinner soon. As the others make small talk, Professor Plum admires an antique rug centered beneath the lounge's furniture. Black thought you'd like that, White calls across the lounge. He had it brought out of storage just for tonight. Indeed, Plum murmurs. Beautiful. Alright, so we made the antique rug. And as they said, each day's puzzle solves either the color, number, or snowflake. And if that solves to a snowflake, that looks like, if you look at 1/6 of that snowflake, let's see if I can bring that closer to the camera. The snowflake next to the words kitchen supplies. It seems to match exactly with what the carpet has yielded. Let's move that next to each other so you can actually see them. So I'm going to guess kitchen supplies is the next answer. There's a door right there. Right, let's move this over here and check the storybook. And that looks like a snow fragment. It didn't say kitchen supplies, but let's go. Oh wait, where's my pen? I'll write down number 4 on this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Oh, they actually do have the number on the inside. You can see that quite clearly. So we know now we're on number 4. All right, day 4. Moving from the lounge into the dining room with White trailing them, the guests are once again greeted with a flourish by Black. The household staff have laid out a dazzling feast on the table behind him. But nothing on the expansive table is as dazzling as the ice sculpture centered proudly in the middle of the table. Nearly as tall as a person, the sculpture captures with a sharp elegance the imposing beauty of a luxury hotel built atop familiar grounds. An ice chisel lays to the left of the sculpture, and the sparkling, not yet melted bits of ice that fleck its blade suggest that its work has been freshly completed. Gesturing proudly at his frigid model, Body exclaims, "Witness the beauty of my hotel, my next great venture, and the reason you're all here tonight." Mustard leans close and squints. What's that in the middle of the ice? All in due time, Colonel, Black teases as he seats himself at the head of the table. For now, why don't you take a moment to appreciate the work of art I commissioned for all of you? After dinner, we can discuss it further. And now we have 3 cards. So these 2 cards that look the ice blocks on the back, north, south, east, west, and different markings, and some other markings here. And here's a north, south, east, west diagram. Use the outline on the back of this letter to orient the size of the hotel. And remember, when it's finished, the best view will be from above, looking down at it from the northwest corner, body black. That'll be this. So we can try and orient that here as we build. Guess we should try and bend these. I have a ruler. I do have a ruler. Let's see. Alright, so east and north, west and south. And now this looks like a hotel from the outside. You can see the 4 different views. And so we want to look from the inside, from the northeast corner. I don't know, I'm seeing it. Let's see, can we see it on camera? I'll be wanting to look at it that way. So what does that look like to you? We're not looking for colors, I guess. Maybe we have to, we have to align this. Oh, this is going to be a snowflake again, isn't it? And it kind of looks like a heart shape. Alright, let's see if we can find a snowflake that kind of looks like that. That's pretty cool. A perspective puzzle. And if we look on this side, these different... I need a bigger table. Let's see. I think you could... Let's see. I'll bring this up so you can see it better. It looks like it might be this one here. That's my suspicion. So, checking the clue. Indeed, it does look like that. So we are on the right track. This will be day 5, I believe. 4, 5. All right, and let's open. Or maybe I should read the story first. All right, let's read the story first. Day 5. The dinner is delicious. Hold on. So you won't be able to see chat. Day 5. The dinner is delicious, but the guests' curiosity about the strange evening prevents them from truly enjoying it. Once dinner is finished, Green's observation of the ice sculpture triggered an exclamation. I knew I recognized those grounds. That's Prism Heights. You can't seriously think I'd let you build on the city's most popular park. But I do, Mr. Mayor, Black sneers. And Solicitor Peacock will represent me. Colonel Mustard will use his sterling reputation to sway public opinion. Professor Plum will forge any documents I may need, and Miss Scarlet will ensure that her friend, Cyan, writes a glowing review in her column. Black then waves lazily towards White as he finishes, and of course I will retain my trusted chef to oversee the hotel's restaurant. White frowns and stares to the ground. Mustard stands up from the table and slams down his fist. I refuse to be a part of this, you scoundrel. Black merely smiles. Thank you for sharing, Colonel. But before anyone else makes a grand moral gesture, why don't you take a closer look at what's buried inside this ice sculpture? Black's 6 dinner companions squint at the glittering model until Plum deduces it appears to be a hard drive. Correct, Professor. Black acknowledges with a sarcastic clap. A hard drive containing evidence of various misdeeds you all have committed. We will meet back here for dessert once the ice sculpture has melted. At that time, I will retrieve the hard drive and send the evidence it contains to the Hill County Gazette, unless you decide to give me the help I have asked for. With that, Black stands abruptly and struts out of the dining room. Above the doors that close imperiously behind him, there is a colorful painting. At center of which is a square as dark as Body Black's heart. Dramatic, very dramatic. I keep nodding my head in agreement like you can see me. I like it, as long as you're enjoying it. Thank you. All right, day 5. So we have 2 cards, and this one's colorful, and this one is circle, circle, triangle equals green, circle, triangle, triangle, but there's a hollow equals red, reddish orange, triangle, circle equals question mark. Start from the middle. Well, are we supposed to solve this entire thing? Is this enough to solve it? This is the first one that's been a little not quite obvious. So I guess the answer for this one will be our final answer, because that's what we're going to try and the final color that we're trying to achieve. And if circle, circle, triangle, is this an algebra problem? How do we start from the middle? The black. I'm not actually sure what to do with these. Is there a clue somewhere else for something that we have not used? I'm going to take a quick look around the box, because this is some kind of it's 25 different colored squares, and we clearly are trying to assign numbers to each, maybe trying shapes to each. There's some stuff that looks like just pictures of the game board, and nothing else that we've encountered so far. Anybody have any thoughts? I will welcome suggestions. Not okay, so this was the game guide. Is there anything else in the game guide we missed? The symbol and the color door. We've looked at all these. So we've used the first few days. There was no other visible clues on it. Other escape room advent calendars often hide clues in various parts of the packaging, but I don't think I see anything that might be useful. If you start in the middle, then go down. Okay, let's see. Oh, you see something. So circle and triangle might be like directional movements. Very nice. So this color is here. Start from the middle, and this way is brighter and that way is darker. So these are the filled shapes and those are the empty shapes. You are correct, Kimbo Sliced Bread. I think you have the key insight. So to get to light green, you go 2 down this way, 2 circles and 1 triangle. So circle is up and down, triangle is left and right. And then the other example, 1 down and then 2 towards the darker area, 2 triangles gives you this orangey red, which matches that. So if we follow this one, it'll be triangle here, circle this way, triangle here, circle this way, which gives us this beautiful purple color, which I presume from the colors of the push pins. No, not the push pins. We have the 6 colors. Peacock is blue, Plum is purple. I think it has to be Professor Plum. I think that's what we got, right? Oh, that was really cool, actually. I did not think to turn shapes into directions. All right, let's see. Professor Plum, you're right. Thank you so much, Kimbo Sliced Bread. Couldn't have done this one without you. So this will be day 6. All right. Oh, let's see. Day 6 story first. Day 6. He can't do this, Mustard roars. Men have died for lesser insults. Black has no idea who he's dealing with, Peacock seethed. He won't be the first trust fund brat I've buried. Green's usually light-hearted smile is gone. You fools, he shrieks. If Black really has evidence on us, what choice do we... He trails off as his lower lip starts to tremble. Plum sits quietly, contemplating the fractured view of the hard drive through the ice. Then, in a quiet but steady voice, he says, "How dare he? I could kill the man." No one speaks, fearful that doing so may signal agreement with such an idea. Finally, White awkwardly announces, "I need to prepare the dessert," and walks out. Peacock follows her, declaring, "I'll go find Black and talk him out of this madness. The power of my office can be quite persuasive." Plum and Mustard agree and leave the room as well. Left alone with Green, Scarlet makes an effort to regain her easygoing wit. "If Black has this much dirt on you, I guess it's true what they say. No such thing as an honest politician." When Green fails to laugh, she shrugs and continues, "I certainly have a lot to think about. I'll go snoop around Boddy's study while I do so." "I'll come too," Green murmurs. "I have to make some calls." With the dining room now empty and silent, the first droplets of thawing ice drip from the sculpture, and beside it, a pile of ice shavings is all that remains, where the ice chisel had been sitting. The ice chisel is now missing. Alright, Professor Plum. Ooh, we get another token. This must be Professor Plum. I guess they're all made of ice. The little ice sculpture tokens. You can see? Yeah. Look at him. Alrighty. You get to stand there. I can't put him so they can see. Oh, he's standing there. We got three cards from day 6. Over. Let's see what we got. Oh, we get one clue weapon. It's the ice chisel. So we now have the ice chisel. We can put this in the envelope. And these are the 2 clue cards. This one looks like a compass rose of some kind. Diary entry. Leaving the dining room, I came across a beautiful marble crest embedded in the floor. I stood on it, facing my favorite ancient icon. I like it so much. I always keep a copy of it on my person. Feeling suddenly whimsical, I turned and faced the moon. Then I turned 2 full circles, returning back to the moon again after each. Every time I turned, I counted each diamond I passed. PP. Well, PP seems to be Professor Plum. And we have this whimsical thingy. And he stands on the middle, facing the moon, which is down here. And he turns 2 full circles. And he counts the number of diamonds he sees. Really? That's it? It seems a little... We want either color, a shape, or a number. This just comes at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2, 16 diamonds. I guess we can check the answer and see if 16 seems a little too easy. Nope, it's not. Alright. So, do we have to find this on the map somewhere? Or is it we just work with this we have? I don't see that shape anywhere in the room. And they were all in the lounge or the dining room. Okay, let's look at this. My favorite ancient icon. I turned and faced the moon. Each time I turned, I counted each diamond I passed. Why don't we look at the first clue? Just get an idea of how good the clues are first. You're solving for a 3-digit number. Alright. That makes sense after all that it doesn't seem like a color and it doesn't seem like a shape series. Hint 2. Plum says in his diary he keeps his favorite symbol on him at all times. The figure of Professor Plum could help solve this puzzle. The figure? This figure? Or this figure? Right, let's look at this one. Oh, do we place him on this? Or do we look at the picture? He's looking in his breast pocket there. So far, all the pictures of him are the same picture, him reaching into his breast pocket. Let's see. of this and this. Hint 3. Take Plum's figure and look at the bottom to find his favorite symbol. There was actually a little embossed sun hidden. Let's see. There you go. Oh my goodness. I didn't think that these figurines were part of the puzzle. I thought they were little souvenir things. Alright, so now we know that he likes the symbol sun. And so he stands on facing the sun. Where'd it go? He stood on the crest facing his favorite symbol, which is that. Suddenly feeling I've turned and faced the moon. So on the first turn, he passes 4 diamonds. And then he turned 2 full circles. So each time I turned, I counted each diamond I passed. So there's 8 diamonds in a full circle. So that's 4, 8, 8. Alright. Is that better? Place the figure of Professor Plum on the center of the crest facing the sun symbol. Turn the figure to face the moon and count the 4 diamonds you pass while doing so. Alright, and spin the figure around 1 full time, counting the 8 diamonds you pass before returning to the moon symbol. Repeat the same action to count 8 more diamonds and you create the 3-digit number 488. Alright, so we did get that correct now, finally. Let's see what 488 gives us. 3, 4, 8, and 8. So we get filled hexagon, empty circle, filled circle. And is that one of the rooms in here? Library. So this was day 7. Oh, and it says so right there, door, library. All right, let's see. Black enters the library, relishing the reaction his announcement caused. His guests don't seem to take kindly to blackmail, but there's nothing they can do except help him build his hotel. Although their support will mean nothing if he can't finalize his blueprints. So Black approaches an obscure alcove in the far corner of the library, where an ornate wooden chest is surrounded by colored tiles. Body fiddles with the tiles, placing them atop the lid of the box until a soft click signals the opening of a lock. The custom strongbox with a ludicrous color lock is perfect for Body's dramatic flair. Body lifts a pistol from the box and removes some documents from beneath it. He sifts through the pages, seeming to find emotional comfort in the act. He then returns the papers and the pistol to the box, but before he can close it, Peacock enters. She has discarded her coat, but her hands are still hidden inside her muff. You don't have the finesse to pull this off, Black. At least not against me, the solicitor warns. I play with the power of the law. I'll tie you in legal injunctions until the project withers and dies, or you do. Black merely chuckles. Try that, my dear solicitor, and you'll find out who holds the real power in this town. Keep this up, Black, and you'll find out how ruthless I can be in court. Perhaps, but I wonder how effective you are when you can't tamper with witnesses. With that, Black leaves the library, so pleased with his retort that he forgets to close the chest. Peacock peeks inside. With a furtive glance over her shoulder, she swipes the pistol from the box and conceals it with difficulty inside her muff. Oh, here we go. Day 7. We get some cards. Oh, and a pistol. Clue weapon. Okay, stick that in the clue envelope. Alright, so we have a grid with some colors. Right. Remember, no row, column, or 4 square may contain 2 of the same colored tile. Plus signs always suggest an interesting combination. Combination? Okay, so we have 4 yellow tiles, 2 red tiles, 2 blue tiles, 2 black tiles. It looks like we're trying to do a Sudoku with colors. I don't know what the plus sign means, but let's solve the Sudoku and then go from there. Alright, let's redraw this grid here. Is that visible on camera? Yes, it is. K for black, B for blue, and R for red. So these two columns are lacking yellow, so I'll just throw yellow in there. And then, where do I go from here? It's like those two are symmetrical. I'm really wondering what this, I'm going to put small plus symbols in there. So the yellow has to, okay, so this block here needs a black and a yellow. So black cannot be here, and yellow has to be there. So that leaves red and blue. And this block here needs a yellow and black. And because of the yellow and black in this row, it goes in there. And same for the red and blue. Alright, so we have, so if we take the two pluses and combine them, we get green because yellow and blue make green. Let's see, anybody have a theory on that with chat? Okay, if we don't have Maya green yet, so we'll check the answer for day 7, and yeah, it's green. Alright, so that was day 7 in the library, so day 8 is Maya green. Okay, day 8 story. Has so many cards. Alright, let's clear this up a little bit. Alright, day 8. Black enters the hall to find Green with his back to him, holding a cell phone to his ear and arguing with someone. I know how powerful you are. If you wanted to, you could get me out of this. What do you mean there's always the next mayor? What about all the money you spent on, donated to my campaign? You could be implicated in this too, you know. I accepted the donations, but who made them, huh? Please. Hello? Hello? Green angrily stuffs the phone back in his pocket. Networking with the donors, are we? Black asked. Green whirls around in surprise. Oh, it's you, he grumbles. I will find a way out of this. I'll never win re-election if I let you bulldoze that park. On the other hand, Black says, you'll be out of office long before that if you don't. I've worked hard to get this office and I won't give it up without a fight. Whatever you say, Mr. Mayor. I suddenly find myself craving more of Chef White's delicious cooking. I think I'll go satisfy my hunger. Green glares at Black's back. Then his eye is drawn to the polished shine of a snow globe on a side table. It is large and ornate, with a gleaming glass ball that would fit well into one's hand, and an intricate base of heavy iron. Alright, let's see what Maya Green is up to. We get cards and a figure of Maya Green. Now I know we've got to check it a lot more carefully. There's numbers at the bottom of this. It says 1, so far 1, 3, and 4. That's odd, they're not coming in order. Okay, so we have a little figure of Maya Green. You can see it here. Alrighty. Let's put him right there. And we've got the 2 cards. Is this a snow globe? I guess that's a weapon, a clue weapon card. Nothing more to do with that. And this card here, this is scissors icon 1, 2, 3. I guess today's answer is going to be a snowflake. So if I cut along these lines and fold along the dotted lines, it's like one of those when you take a piece of paper and you fold it a bunch and then you cut it and you unfold it, it turns into a snowflake. I think that's what we're doing today. Oh goodness, I have to fold it twice and cut through 4 layers of cardboard. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. The least they could have done is like giving it tracing paper or something. But alright, let's see what we can do. 1, 2. I really don't want to cut through 4 layers of cardboard. That's very fiddly. Okay, so 2. Yep. And where's my scissors? Dropped it. Here we go. Alright. And then this is going to be pretty. I can kind of visualize what this is going to be. I didn't really need to cut this, but Oh, let's do this. But it'll be fun to see. We got. Okay, that actually worked pretty well. And let's open it up. And that's what we got. Now we've got to find that shape. Little bits. Okay, aha! That looks like this door right here. Let's see, can you see it on camera? There we go. On the left side of that postcard. That's pretty cool. I guess if I thought about it, I could probably have visualized it about the cutting. But it looks better that way, right? So this was day 8. Let's check the answer and see. Yep, day 9. All right. On his way to the study, Plum passes Body as the mansion's owner leaves the hall. Plum ignores him and enters the study to find Scarlet examining a marble bust of a woman identified by a plaque as Blair Black. "Oh," exclaimed Scarlet, "I was expecting Green. He stepped out, said he had to take a call, but I could have sworn I heard him talking to Body in the hall next door. But that's absurd. These walls are way too thick to hear through." Plum leans against the desk and examines Scarlet skeptically. "Regardless of who you were waiting for, what are you doing in a man's private study?" "I could ask the same of you, Professor. I, for one, believe there's much you can learn from a man about his study. Learn about a man from his study. For example," she gestures to the bust, "I think this is a sculpture of Body's dearly departed mother. I admit I wouldn't have expected such affection from our host." "That might not be this room's only surprise," Plum murmurs as he inspects some blueprints on Black's desk. "You did hear a conversation next door. The walls seem to be less solid than they appear." Using the blueprints for guidance, Plum lifts the edge of heavy carpet to reveal a secret passageway beneath it. An amused Scarlet shakes her head and says, "The snake! Who builds a secret passageway in their own home?" "Body Black, apparently. Shall we discover where it leads?" And let's open day 9. Let's see. Got some cards. And there's a maze, blueprint of secret passages. And then we have a map of the house. And some text. "Body, I finished the secret passage. You can use it to get from the kitchen to your study, but I also added all the dead ends you requested. The darker parts of the path are part of the mansion's foundation and couldn't be adjusted. Remember that they'll always stay the same if you get lost." So, he's going from the kitchen to the study. And on this map, it does this to this. So, there's lots of dead ends, which leads me to think we're trying to trace the path that you would take from the kitchen to the study. That's going to be hard to see on camera. Let's see if I can just a bit closer. Okay. So, we have to avoid all the dead ends. Let's see. We go here. It's going to go here. I think that side's the dead end. So maybe here and here over to here. And dead end, so down this way. Still down this way, back down, and here we go. So that gives like a little hexagon with on a pole shape. Maybe that yields a snowflake shape somewhere. Let's take a quick look. Oh, right here. This one right here. And let's check the hint book for day 9. And there it is. So we've got day 10. Benefactor behind Surprise Winter Festival revealed by Cyan. In an unexpected turn of events, it has been revealed that typically frugal Body Black was the anonymous donor behind the surprise winter festival in the northwest corner of Hughes County, beloved Prism Heights Park. However, there's still mystery afoot regarding the unexplained presence of land surveyors who were spotted around the park on the same day. That's a little news clip that's here on the door that we're going to open. And let's read the story. Day 10. Shivering in the drafty air of the secret passageway, Plum and Scarlet reach the end to find a trapdoor in the ceiling. Its handle is broken, and a scarf has been tied to it as a makeshift replacement. Pulling the trapdoor open and taking the scarf with them, Plum and Scarlet emerge into the kitchen, where Chef White is busy making dessert. Scattered on the counter behind White are photographs showing fragments of plates. When asked about the pictures, she shrugs. Body always says that food has meaning, but I've never understood what that control freak means. Then White sees the scarf in Scarlet's hands and snatches it away angrily. Where did you get my scarf? She demands. Scarlet explains about the secret passageway, then asks shrewdly, how did your scarf find its way in there? I found Body's creepy passageway ages ago. Every once in a while I'll use it to go into his study and wire myself a little bonus. It's his own fault for not paying me what I'm worth, and for having a password as dumb as 12345. But Body can't find out, and you keep your mouth shut unless you want a side of food poisoning with your dessert. I think I can pretend, Scarlet muses, especially if I can wire myself a little incentive. 12345, you said, Chef? White rolls her eyes, but merely turns away. Do what you want. I have to finish dessert. Scarlet disappears back down the secret passageway with a wink, but Plum leaves through the kitchen door. I refuse to further involve myself in these underhand schemes, he says. Okay, so day 10. A bunch of cards, and day 10. So, okay, we have a scarf. That's the clue weapon that goes in here. And, ooh, little jigsaw. Alright. This doesn't make any sense. Body wants his food arranged in a very specific way on very specific plates, but I can't understand how to use these guides he gave me. Alright, where's the piece of paper? Let's put this on paper so it's clearer to see. So we have a center image here with 4 quarters of plates. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now we have these. So, alright, so this one looks like this potatoes. This one looks like this mushrooms. Let's find one that matches that one. Okay, that one, the tomato matches. That looks good. The question, what do you do with this after we match it all? Oh, I don't know. Let's fit it together and then figure it out. I think I see something happening. That looks like a number 8, doesn't it? The question is, oh, wait a minute. I know. There's this one with a star, and the design around the edge of the plate looks like that. So I think we're trying to make that one. Well, we finished this one, so let's see. Let you see it. That pattern, it's very hard to put in words, but it's a figure 8, and so we can look at the star patterns to see which digit that might be. Wow, these look so similar. Okay, I think it's this one. So those two match. So that would, the number 8 would be the second digit. I think that's right. So now let's try and find the first digit, which was this pattern. And it looks like this square, that corner. Wow. This visual matching thing is not one of my strengths. Alright, we got this. I think those are the 4. Now let's make, oh, hey. Oh, I think that's a number 2. It's upside down, but so we have 2, 8 something. You can see it's quite clearly 2. Now the 3 stars. That looks like that. It looks like there's a sort of a hollow thing in the center. So looks like these 2 and these 2. And if I'm not wrong, that looks like a number 4. Yep. So 284. Get the clue disc. 2, 8, 4. This is a square circle star. And if we check the rooms, oof, that looks like the billiard room. Square circle star. Check back up day 10 and it says billiard room. We did it. Day 11. Okay. So let's put that aside and read the story for day 11. A fire crackles in the billiard room. Merrily lapping up the papers, Colonel Mustard is feeding it. His frustrated pokes with the fire iron elicit sparks. Peacock knocks on the door frame as she entered. Room for one more? Mustard grunts but says nothing. I'll consider that a yes. Peacock chuckles as she approaches the fire. I'm surprised that a noted man of action like yourself has chosen to seclude yourself in here. Mustard turns to face her, the fire iron gripped in his fist, glowing orange at the tip. A smart general, he huffs in irritation, studies the battlefield and the enemy before launching his attack. Of course, Peacock says, but then, you're not a general. And if one believes certain rumors, you don't even deserve to be called a colonel. Mustard knuckles turn pale as he clenches the fire iron tighter. Whatever rumors you may have heard, I assure you, everything I accomplished in my career was well earned and above reproach. A bold claim from the man burning documents. Mustard refuses to meet her knowing gaze. I thought I should protect the anonymity of those I correspond with, given the ridiculous accusations being made. No one's made any accusations, Colonel, Peacock retorts. And no one ever will, Mustard growls, pointing the fire iron towards her. With that, Mustard stalks out of the billiard room, still gripping the fire iron. In the fire, a charred piece of paper bearing an official-looking letterhead and the first few lines of a letter breaks off and flutters to the floor. Peacock studies it for a moment before chuckling to herself and turning to examine an ornate jewel box on a nearby bar top. Tacky, she mutters. So, behind door 11, we have, let's see, a bunch of colors, and that, and the fire iron clue weapon. We have so many weapons. Put that away. And now these. Okay, 2 sides with gems on each side and a list of gems here and this. Sparkling gems catch every eye. Let their glitter guide your folds. Let their glitter guide your folds. Okay. Dot 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 dot. Dash 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 dash. So we're gonna fold something. I don't see any fold lines on this. Alright. Oh, I see. Only a whole amethyst can cover the luster of a diamond. I'm sorry. Rejoin the emerald. Mend the broken lover's heart. So step 1, you're trying to fold the amethyst to be over the diamond, I think. So we have the list here. The amethyst is purple and diamond is white. So there's these 2 halves of the purple here. And then on the other side there's a white. So if we've somehow figured out how to fold these, I think maybe if we fold them down, kind of like a paper airplane style, that might bring them to where the diamond is. I'm just going to have to, oh yes, I'm just going to have to sort of guesstimate it. Again, folding cards is not my favorite way to do this. And now we have a whole diamond, a whole amethyst covering the luster of a diamond. Now we have to rejoin the emerald. There's half an emerald here and half an emerald here, and so I guess the only way to do that is to fold diagonally here. That's step 2. Step 3, mend the broken lover's heart. So that looks like that. Lover's heart. And so half's here, the other half is here. So we do this. Okay, that's working pretty well. Oh, look at that. We've created some kind of diamond shaped thing. That looks a lot like what we made earlier, but alright. So now we have to find that snowflake. Let's see. Was that somehow? Maybe. Oh, that's the one I thought we were doing earlier, but nope, not that. Not that, not that. That's probably that one. Yeah, it actually is. So it's at an angle. Lift it up so you can see. So that means this. I've lost the book. Oh, I need a bigger table. I need a big table, but yes, okay, so that was day 11. And to check, yep, that's the snowflake. So we have day 12. All right, story time. I need to hydrate. I should have brought water as a supply. All right, day 12. Plum storms into the dining room. His disgust with the evening's event is not improved by the sight of Body Black, who is snacking on some nuts and checking on the state of the ice sculpture. It is more than half melted, and the tip of the hard drive now pokes out of the ice. You're deplorable, Mr. Black, Plum spits. What type of man blackmails people for a hotel? Black merely chuckles. Spare me the false outrage, Professor. It's not the best fake you produce as an antiquities expert. It takes two to blackmail. I'm only threatening to expose secrets that you buried in the first place. Behind Black, the once magnificent ice sculpture slowly melts. A conjunction of right angles catches Plum's eye as the sculpture threatens to collapse under its own weight, much like the lies Plum has told. The right angles merge into a striking new pattern. Plum takes notes of his beauty, but cannot shake the anger that Black rouses in him. I'm off to find Mayor Green, Plum mutters. Surely he wields enough power to shield me from possible university inquiries. He marches out of the dining room, blinded by rage. Okay, that gives us day 12. And we've got a cutting thing going on. You suppose we cut along all the red lines? There's nothing else, we just have these two. Alright then. Alright, maybe I'll just cut off the grey parts first. No, actually I think we cut along the red lines and do a jigsaw puzzle. Alright, I can't complain at that. I like jigsaw puzzles. Alright, let's do this. I'm assuming since the scissors icon is in red, it means red equals cut lines. Because otherwise I don't know how else to solve this. If you're mentally solving this, you can figure out which snowflake it is maybe. Alright, so we've got these pieces. This looks like it will go there, maybe? No, goes this one. Yes, much better. And then this one goes here. And there's this. I've never liked tangrams. I can't see. Do these go together? Like this, maybe? Oh, look, that actually makes a full square. Beautiful. And then we have this shape. You can see it. I can't even describe it. One of the snowflakes, perhaps. I think it might be the one, the white on black, where the top left over here forms the center hexagons and the bottom right forms the little diamond and the V-shape pointed thing over here. So let's check the answers. Yep. So that this is day 13. And now we're about halfway through. And it's 12:10, so I have scheduled 2 hours for this. It looks like we won't quite finish. But alright, let's go to 1 o'clock and see how far we get. Maybe we'll finish, maybe not. Day 13 story time. And if you're here, Feel free to let me know in the comments whether you think I should try and finish everything today or it'll be better to save it for tomorrow. Black enters the study, supremely pleased with the night's progress. Inside, he finds Scarlet looting through the desk papers. Papers are scattered around the office. The computer screen is awake, but logged out. Black clears his throat pointedly. Ahem. Find anything you like, Cyan? Scarlet slowly turns around with a look of disdain. To be honest, no. For someone with such dastardly schemes, your study is disappointingly pedestrian. Black laughs. Guilty as charged. I keep all the juicy bits up here. He points to his head, precisely because of people like you and your alter ego. Scarlet gives a light-hearted laugh. Oh, Body, I quite admire the mysterious Cyan, but unfortunately, writing was never my strong suit. Whatever you think you have on me, I'm afraid you're mistaken. Really? In that case, feel free to reject my offer. I'll still be sending my evidence to the Gazette just in case. A scoop about their own gossip columnist will be quite a headline, if of course it is true. Scarlet's genteel smile freezes, then warps into something ugly. I've crushed decadent fools before. You notice that Cyan and I are still here while they are not. You don't scare me, Body. You're nothing but a pampered mama's boy. Scarlet punctuates her point by knocking over the marble bust of Black's mother, which topples with a heavy thud. Black, however, merely smiles. I knew this room was overstuffed. Thank you for helping me decide what to remove. He leaves the study. Scarlet spends a few more minutes searching, but finds nothing more interesting than a list of paint swatches for the proposed hotel. With a sigh of resignation, she picks the bust up and back up and sets it on its pedestal. Day 13. I can't believe she's cleaning up after herself. Alright. So we get the weapon, which is a marble bust. And add that to a very full envelope. And we have these. Oh my goodness. So many equations. Alright, let's read this first. Body. I mixed some paint colors for the paint to use in your new hotel. I know you like to be hands-on, so if you mix your own paint, be sure to take note of what colors went into it. I'm not a miracle worker. I need a clear formula if I'm to recreate it at scale. Alright, so we have 3 here. I guess we're trying to figure out the last one. So that will be our final color. So we have this sheet. Blue plus 2 yellows equals green. Red plus 2 blues equals purple. Cyan plus yellow equals green. Okay. Yellow plus 2 blues equals cyan. Alright. That's a lot of math. Yellow plus 2 reds equals orange. Blue plus 2 reds equals pink. Blue plus yellow equals green. And red plus 2 yellows equals orange. So now we have orange minus 2 yellows equals X. So we had that orange. Orange minus 2 yellows will be red. So X is red. Okay. Purple minus X equals Y. So purple minus red or pink. Is that purple? That's purple, not pink. So purple minus red equals Y. Y is 2 blues. So that leaves cyan minus Y. So cyan minus 2 blues equals question mark. So that's cyan minus 2 blues equals yellow. That wasn't too bad. I just had to know which equations to use. So our answer is yellow, which would be Colonel Mustard, I believe. Let's double check our answers. Colonel Mustard. So that will be day 14. Alrighty, story time. Day 14. Body walks into the ballroom where Mustard is pacing angrily, the fire iron still in his hand. Well, you have all certainly made yourself comfortable in my house. I never know where I'll find you next, Black says. This blackmail will not stand, Black. I fought worse than you in my day, and I certainly won't be intimidated now. To emphasize his point, Mustard throws the fire iron forcefully to the floor. If that's the case, why not just leave, Colonel? I would hardly take offense. My little party shouldn't stand in the way of your bravery. Mustard sputters. I will! But first I'll find Mayor Green. What you're doing has to be against the law, and surely he has the power to stop it. With a laugh, Black puts an arm around Mustard's shoulder and guides him to the door. You do that. In fact, I overheard a little phone conversation the mayor was having earlier with some of his less public donors. He hopes that his friends in low places will help him out of this. Maybe they'll help you too. With that, Black gives Mustard a playful push out the door. Mustard leaves without the fire iron, and Body, now alone, approaches an enormous grand piano. He lifts the polished key lid and out flutters a note in his own handwriting. Black seems to be teaching himself piano. He places a note on the lid of the piano and sits down to play. It will be some time before the ice sculpture finishes melting, and his relaxed confidence puts him in the mood for a long session on the piano. Alright, on day 14 we have a few cards, and our Colonel Mustard figure, who has a number 2 on his base. That's what he looks like. Oh, we have a whole collection of them going. Put them here. Day 14. So, melody notes, Black's composition. Remember, piano keys are arranged in sets of octaves, and letters repeat in each octave. The left side of the keyboard is low and the right side is high. Start on the low D, jump up an octave, then move down 3 notes, ignoring the black keys, then go back up to the brightest key in the highest octave. Play 1 note higher, jump down an octave, play 1 note higher, the last note is the key to the song. There's a lot of instructions, but alright, let's slowly do this. Start on the low D. That is this orange one here. Hold it up so you can see. D is here. Alright, jump up an octave. That brings you to high D. Then move down 3 notes ignoring the black keys. That's 1, 2, 3 would be A on this purple. Purple, I guess purple, yeah. Go back up to the brightest key in the highest octave. I'm going to say that means E, because that yellow looks really bright to me. That's really strange that you have to use a judgment like that to play 1 note higher. That would be F. Jump down an octave, that's this F. Play 1 note higher, that's this G. The last note is the key to the song. The blue G. The blue will be peacock. We haven't opened peacock yet. Let's see if peacock's the answer. Yep, peacock. Alright, so today we did 14, so this will be 15. Okay. Nice work. Day 15. In the billiard room, Peacock is startled by the sound of music coming from elsewhere in the mansion. She leaves the room and wanders the hallways, trying to find a melody's source. Peacock passes Scarlet, who is just coming out of the study. Ah, the beautiful Miss Scarlet. How unlike you to be hiding away by yourself. Scarlet fumes. I had hoped to find something to use against Body, but the man isn't as foolish as I thought. No, he's not, Peacock agrees. Does that mean you've chosen to give in to his demands? No, I don't know, Scarlet sighs. But time is running out. I'm going to the conservatory to hide myself away and consider my options. What about the fearless solicitor Peacock, enemy of lawbreakers everywhere? Peacock laughs and pats Scarlet on the arm. I like you, Scarlet. I'll find a way out of this. I hope you can too. Thank you, darling, but I won't get my hopes up. Then why don't we both take some time to formulate a plan? Given that you've already laid claim to the conservatory, I shall instead spend my time locating the origin of that poorly played music. I hope your visit to the conservatory is productive. And so the peacock is a card and the figurine of Solicitor Peacock. She's in a beautiful ball gown. Let's see if I can show you. Right here. Look at that. Lovely. That's a number 5 on the bottom. Ooh, is that a manufacturing defect or a clue? No, looks like a defect. Alright. Can't be too careful after Professor Plum now. Alright, so we've got this crazy thing. Looks like a snowflake wannabe. Looks like cutting, folding instructions. Alright then. Let's follow the instructions. Step 1, cut up to here. Step 2, fold along this line. I guess we fold from the outside in. Let's crease it this way and then I fold it out that way. Okay, so creased and folded. Step 3. Where's step 3? Step 3 is hidden in here, but I can see it, so I fold this way. That gives us a step 3 here. Did I do the right way? Do you think I should have done it this way? Maybe I do it this way. That way you fold in over the line that you see. That's actually looking like it makes sense. So step 4. And step 5 folds up that way. Okay, so that gives us this shape here. And if we look, I think that matches this spiky weapon-shaped snowflake. Yep, that's pretty good. Check the storybook. And that's it. So that can go there. Day 16. And day 16. It's amazing how many doors they managed to fit into this small package. Alright. Entering the conservatory, Scarlet is struck by the humid warmth and rich earthy aroma that washes over her. She sits on a bench near the wall and weighs her options. Unlike the others, who seem to have criminal pasts, she has broken no laws. Being outed as Scion wouldn't be ideal, but it wouldn't lead to her arrest. On the other hand, as Scion, she has written many unflattering things about many powerful people. And some of those people have criminal pasts of their own. That's the reason she uses a pen name. No closer to making a decision, Scarlet kicks an empty pot in frustration. Instead of shattering, however, it tips backward on a hinge and triggers a large statue to swing around, revealing another passageway in the floor beneath it. Examining the conservatory floor, Scarlet now realizes a subtle pattern in the tiles points towards the tight corner with the concealed door, and tucked inside the fake flower pot is a diagram of the floor tiles, labeled for bodies blacks by whoever installed the passageway. With the conservatory failing to provide any solutions to her predicament, Scarlet descends eagerly into the passageway, leaving the trapdoor open behind her. The last time she entered one of these, she came out the other side with a way to steal money from the miserable body black. Who knows what she may discover on the other side of this. So, day 16, right here. A bunch of cards. Lots of cards. So there's a pattern on the back of these cards and a pattern on the other side. And body. If you ever forget where the entrance to the secret passage is, this floor diagram will point you in the right direction. Assemble the floor plan by connecting all matching tile colors. Then orient the whole floor plan so the red/yellow square is in the top left corner. Once the floor is oriented correctly, flip each tile individually to the left. Oh, this needs cutting. Alright, see how the red cut lines. Here we go again. Arts and crafts today. So, how are we oriented? Is it, there's a red/yellow. Does that mean by connecting all matching tile colors? Okay. But there's one tile that has red and yellow. Looks like this tile. So we don't connect the red to the yellow. We still connect red to red and yellow to yellow. And then we take that tile to be top left. Okay, so we have this. Alrighty. Oh, this doesn't look very. I don't know if you can see that in camera. Let's see. A little bit better. So, okay. Let's keep this tile top left. We have a yellow here. We have orange. We have blue. How about a green? darker green, and the purple, and the red, and the pink. Alright, so we have it, the yellow, red in the top left, and then flip each individually to the left. So like this, I guess, to the left. Uh-oh, that one just spun around on me. That doesn't look like it's lining up properly. Oh, let's flip it and see. Some of those look right, some of those not as right. Oh wait, so if you look right in the center, there's this like triangle with little wings coming out, and then everything else is just there to distract you. Okay, I buy that. Now, is that one of the shapes? Is it not that one? Not that one. What am I missing? Actually, is it this one? Yeah, it's actually this one. Let me move that up so you can see. That looks mostly right. Little triangles in the middle, and then yeah. All right. Let's check the answer. Yep. That'll be day 17. I think we'll get close to finishing, but not. And besides, after that, we still have to solve clues, so I will have to split this up into 2 sessions probably. Alright, let's see. At day 17, at the end of the passageway, Scarlet finds a locked trapdoor controlled by a scanner that seems to scan the number of fingers placed upon it, but not the fingerprints itself. Scarlet successfully unlocks the door. Pushing it open elicits a yelp of surprise from the other side. Scarlet climbs up into the lounge and leaves the door to the secret passageway open behind her. She finds Mustard staring at the open trapdoor, where he had evidently just been standing. In the lounge with him are Green and Plum. The rush of still, dusty air from the secret passage has extinguished the candles bespread throughout the room and left nothing but wisps of fragrant smoke behind. So intrigued by the 3 men by Scarlet's sudden appearance that they fail to notice the sudden end of the tinkling piano music that has been playing for some time. Another secret passage, Plum muses. Mysteries abound in the home of Mr. Black. Mustard scowls. You mean there's another of these infernal tunnels? I've seen enough. I refuse to be bullied by a spineless coward who skulks around in his own home. I shall confront him and end this, one way or another. But where would Boddy be? Scarlet wonders. I heard him say earlier that he was still hungry, Green implies. Maybe he's in the kitchen. I'm familiar with that room, says Plum. Shall we return there, Miss Scarlet? Lead the way, my dear, Scarlet replies. You go ahead, Green says. I'll be in the hall. I have some negotiations to conclude. Unnoticed by the rest of them, Mustard hangs back, muttering, None of them knows where the rascal is. When unsure, best let the enemy come to you. And day 17 gives us a bunch of cards, many cards. So 6 sides of these cards look like fingerprint scans. And this one's, oh, a clue, unknown location, music ends. That's interesting. Look at all those music notes just smooshing together. Okay, so I think that goes into the clue envelope. And then multi-step fingerprint verification. Fingerprint scan required for lounge entry. First, scan both hands, then scan left hand, finally scan right hand. Please note all unscanned fingers. So this is going to give us a 3-digit number. If we note the unscanned fingers, that should like give us a count, I guess. So if you're scanning both hands, all right, how do we use these? So these have indications on the side, first, second, and third. So this is like first, second, third, second. All right, so let's look at the 2 first ones. Where did it go? I'm confused. I thought we had, yeah, these 2. So because they're both first, but we want something that's saying scan both hands, this is the only one that is using both hands because there's 2 thumbs. I guess one hand is red and one hand is blue. So that means the unscanned fingers for this one would be 8. So, but we then second scan left hand. So let's look at the one with 2 dots. These are the ones with 2 dots. Left hand. If we're scanning the left hand, middle ring pinky. I'm not sure how to tell which of these are the left hand. Both look like they could be the left hand. Like the thumb oriented this way, middle ring and pinky oriented this way. A bit awkward. And then scan right hand. Let's move on to and see what that one. Right hand is 2 of the 3 ones. Then you have the right thumb and the ring and pinky. Okay, so we know left hand is blue and the right hand is red. So from looking at this one, blue and red, that doesn't really help us any. Thoughts? Maybe we have to use both. Okay, what was the first one? Do we have to scan it multiple times? So if there's 2 screens, I'm thinking we did this, which means 3 fingers are scanned and 7 fingers are not. Is that a weird interpretation? Does anybody have an idea? If you want to leave something in the chat. All right, let's go with that first, since that's all I can think of for now. But I felt we maybe had to pick between one of these 2 cards. But if we use both, that gives 7 for number 1, and for number 2 that gives 6. No, we're only scanning left hand. So if you scan 4, that leaves 1. So 7, 1. And then 3 is this 7, 1, 2. Let's see if that's anywhere close to correct. Oh wait, no, we got to use the. Oh wait, I caught a glimpse. Yeah, 7, 1, 2 is correct. All right, so we just had to count 7, 2, 3, 7 missing fingers, scan 1, 7, 2 missing, 3 missing, third. So we had to use both cards, so we were on the right track. But I guess I flipped the cards too quickly for you to see. See, like the second one had 4 fingers if you use both cards. So there was 1, yes. I didn't keep the cards up on screen long enough, sorry. I will take the blame for that. And then this one had 3 fingers, so there's 2 being missing. So we're back to 7, 1, 2, and let's spin it and find out where we go. 7, 1, 2. It's a square, triangle, hexagon. And if we look at rooms, that gives us lounge. I'm sorry, you couldn't see that. You didn't get to participate in that search. I'm sorry. Okay, so now let's go back to it says lounge at the bottom here. So we know we got that right. My pen, that was day 17, so this is day 18. All right, let's flip this open. Inside. Oof. How do I get these out? Okay. Oh, there's 2 cards. Okay. No, 3. A location. Unknown location. Bang. Thud. Crash. Sounds in dark. Okay, interesting. And then we have 2 of these. Draw a path through the dark that maneuvers carefully and precisely through body black's cluttered decor. Your path must pass through each hexagon exactly once and trace out a mathematically correct equation. I guess we're using the math to try and solve this. So we have this diagram. Okay, you can see that. So the equals should be like at the end. So go through that and go to 2 or 4 or I guess even 1. So something divided by something. So we go like, 12 28 divided by 4 equals 7, but that leaves it 12 there. So something, I mean, either way you're dividing by maybe an even number, because unless you're dividing by 1 or 81, which seems unlikely. So that means you want an even number divided by some other even number. 28 divided by 14 equals 2. That's a fairly simple equation and seems correct. Alright, so what happens if I draw that? 28 divided by, that's not 14. 14 equals 2. So that ignoring this thing gives you a little spiky pattern. And if we look at this, it looks like this little spiky pattern right here under the word menu. So to check if our answer is correct there, and that's this red snowflake, so that will give us day 19. Alrighty, day 19. Mustard clutches the long candle and with one smooth movement lights a match and ignites the wick. In its sudden glow, Mustard is startled to see Peacock in the lounge with him. "What are you doing here?" he exclaims. "Trying to be useful and get the lights back on," Peacock retorts. "I saw a circuit breaker in the library earlier." Mustard snorts with condescension and points out, "And yet, this is the lounge." "Yes, I can see that," snaps Peacock. "I obviously got turned around in the dark. But now that you found yourself a candle, we can navigate to the library." Using the light of the candle Mustard carries, they maneuver the corridors of Tudor Mansion until they enter the library. With the added glow of dying coals in the fireplace, they find the circuit breaker and open it up to find cryptic instructions. Although they cannot reactivate the mansion's power, they do discern the source of the outage. "I'm getting sick of this night's twist," Peacock grumbles, "and once I learn what killed the lights, I'm leaving." Mustard says, "I could not agree more, Peacock. So shall we head to the source of this outage and get to the bottom of this?" "By all means, lead the way, Mustard," Peacock answers. Mustard and Peacock rush towards the room that caused the outage. So let's open this and see what we learn. Alright, we have 2 cards. One looks like the circuit breaker itself. And this one looks like instructions. Alright. To reboot power. Note that black switches are permanently locked in their starting position and cannot be switched. Which one are black switches? I guess maybe these 2 here might be black switches. First, switch the 2 lowest numbered yellow switches to the right. Next, flip all even numbered switches to the left. Finally, flip all blue switches to the right. To verify you enter the override code correctly, check the number of all the switches switched on left in this order: green, yellow, and black. Alright, so it's a process puzzle. So we have, I'm sorry for the waving around. Alright, so the black ones cannot be moved. Step 1, switch the 2 lowest numbered yellow switches to the right. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 2 lowest numbered yellow switches will be 1 and 6. So right now everything's in the center. So I guess I'm just going to recreate it here so I can draw on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we switch 1 to the right and 6 to the right. Next, flip all even number switches to the left. So 2 goes to the left. No, 2 is black, so it cannot move to the left. 4 is green, so it moves to the left. 6 now goes to the left, and 8 goes to the left. Finally, flip all blue switches to the right. So that leaves, so that's 5 and 8, I believe. So 5 goes to the right, and 8 goes to the right. Check the number of switches switched left in this order. Green. Green is to the left, so that's 1. Yellow. So 1 is to the right, so nope. Then 6 is to the left, so yes. And 7 is not to the left, it's in the middle, so 1. And then black finally. Black is locked and cannot be switched, so 0. So the answer we have is 110, which is a bit odd, but let's see if that's correct. No, not even close. Oh, wait, we do not want the we're not counting the switches. We want the number of the switches. The index, the label number of the switch. Wait, but the black switches are stuck and I'm so confused. Alright. So the green switch that was left, switch to the left was number 4. The yellow switch that was switched to the left, that was, according to our notes, number 6. And the black switch that was switched to the left, none of them are switched to the left because they're black and they're... Oh, wait. There's already the color, where the side where the color is. That's how switches work, apparently. I thought the switch physically moves left and right, not the color that's labeled. Well, that did not affect any of our other calculations, apparently. So let's check the answer now. 264, 462 as I've written, because apparently I'm dyslexic. That's correct. Let's use our little cipher wheel to figure out which room there is. I need to be able to see both my camera and chat, apparently. I can't do both at the same time. Alright, here's 4. Six and 2. So we have hexagon, star, hexagon, well, filled hexagon. And let's look at the rooms now. So if you can see what rooms you can see. That would be, it looks like the conservatory. Yep. And that would be day 9. No, we just did day 19. I'm totally losing track. Oh, it is day. Maybe day 20 then. Where did day 19 come up from? Yeah, that was that, day 19. So this is day 20. We are so close to the end. Do you all want me to go over the 2 hours I've scheduled so I can finish it today, or should I schedule another session? I don't know if people can stay later. Leave a comment in chat so I know, and I will keep reading day 20. Peacock and Mustard enter the conservatory. The light of Mustard's candle reveals body black, lying dead on the floor. Peacock raises a hand to her mouth, and Mustard shouts a thunderous oath. Summoned by Mustard's exclamation, White and Plum rush in, followed shortly by Scarlet, then Green. All seem equally shocked by the body in front of them. Professor Plum holds a miniature flashlight keychain, and White uses a kitchen lighter for illumination. Mustard hands a candle to Scarlet, then kneels down to examine a pistol on the floor next to the body. A single bullet's been fired, but not, it seems, into body black, he observes. And these scuff marks on the floor? As if the body was dragged to the spot. And look at his collar, Scarlet points out. Something left flecks of ice on it, as well as small melted water droplets on the floor. Look! Plum points his flashlight towards a flower pot on the shelf. Cracks in the clay emanate out from what is unmistakably a bullet hole. Water drips from the hole onto an electrical box. This is the only pot with nothing planted in it, yet the soil has been watered, so the gardener was clearly expecting to plant something soon. Green wanders to a nearby table. His shoes make a distinct squelch with each step and leave wet footprints behind him. On the table is a pair of gloves atop a dirt-stained diary. Maybe this can tell us something, Green says, picking up the diary. And as he does so, his hand leaves a bloodstain on one of the pages. He notices this, seemingly for the first time, then quickly balls his breast pocket square in his fist to soak up the blood. I mean, that's not like suspicious at all, but let's go with day 20. Let's see what's we can do. Get something. Alright, let's see. Day 20 is a bunch of cards. Oh, so many cards. Okay, let's move that over. We have 2 clues today. This is the scuff marks and ice flakes on soot. So that's go here. And then we have these 3 cards. This one's a arrangement of flower pots and flowers. And 2 notes, the gardener's diary. Let's read them. Gardener's Diary, December 19th. I guess that would have been today if I was doing this in December. Black has given me very strict instructions. The flowers on each shelf of the conservatory are to be arranged in the same pattern. I don't quite understand the appeal, but we all know that Body likes his patterns. Unfortunately, not all flowers grow at the same rate, so he will have to be patient. Not even Body Black can rush Mother Nature. I know Black wanted the conservatory to be in full bloom for his party, but we won't quite make it. Bulbs have been planted in every pot but one, and I'm going to order a bulb for the last one soon. I told Black I had ordered them all already, but as long as there are multiple pots without flowers, he'll never notice that one is also missing a bulb, even if that bulb is for his favorite color flower. So we need to figure out the color. And so we have each shelf are in the same pattern. So we have red, green, blue, blank, yellow. Blue, green, blank, yellow. Purple, blank, white, red, green. Purple, yellow, blank, white. So I presume it's a pattern from left to right. And each shelf has a subset of that pattern, which means something goes between blue and yellow, but we don't actually know that. Oh, it's probably a wraparound pattern. So like before yellow in the fourth shelf is purple. So let me get the card to, I'm sorry, let's make that better. So if the fourth shelf has purple before yellow, I'm going to guess that these two have should be purple. And then the one here would be yellow. And after the yellow would be the white. And is this the one that, yeah, you can see the stream of water coming out from this is the pot without the bulb. So white is the missing color. I think that makes sense. Feels right. Let's check the answer. Chef White. Here we go. That's day 21. Story time. We can make. All right. Mustard fiddles with wires in the damp conservatory electrical box. There is a quick spark, and the mansion lights flicker back on. In the sudden brightness, White notices a still open door to the secret passageway. I'm going to read it really fast now so we can get through this. Another secret door, White exclaims. How many of these did Body have? I don't know, says Scarlet, but I went through this one earlier and it leads to the lounge. So Body dies, and we find his body near one of the secret passageways you've been playing in all night, White observes. What a coincidence! Take it from a lawyer, that's quite incriminating evidence, Scarlet, Peacock warns, and you did admit to searching for your own form of blackmail in Body's office, and to your frustration at finding nothing. Scarlet tries to funnel her anxiety into indignant anger. But I wouldn't be the first to use those passageways, would I, Chef White? Your time in the kitchen has been very profitable. How are you acquiring your restaurant funds again? Ladies, Plum interrupts, we shall solve nothing by arguing next to a body. Perhaps this new passageway contains clues. After all, I did find White's scarf in the other one. Scarlet smirks at White. The six of them enter a passageway, and at the other end, find a closed trapdoor and a smashed fingerprint scanner. I know I left this one open, Scarlet points out. Yes, Mustard confirms. I was keeping an eye on it in case Black tried to slip by. I didn't notice in the commotion, but someone must have closed it since the power went out. Scarlet pulls a pin from her hair and kneels next to the lock. Someone smashed the scanner, but give me a few minutes and let me work my magic. And in 21, we have cards and a little figure of probably a Chef White. There's a number 6 on the bottom. So here we go. Oops. I mean, it's hard to really tell the difference. They're all like icy. And we have one clue card which says secret passageway, smash scanner, and closed door. And we have this one looks like a lines with a thing on the back. Oh, these are key lock pistons, lock cylinders. So like when you put a key in it, it bumps them. So when it's lined up, you can unlock the lock. To open the door, align the lockpick with the pins inside the lock. So this is the lockpick. Oh, we got to cut along the red line. Okay then, this looks actually kind of fun. Yeah, there's 2 lockpicks, so we have to find one of them that matches the pattern of the cylinders, I guess. making her own little key out of cardboard. I like this. Okay, now they said align your pins inside the lock, so we have to put them on the inside. There's this line here. This could be... I'm rushing this. Interesting. Why doesn't it align? It's not aligning the way I want it to. Oh, I have to align it flipped. That makes more sense now. See, this one fits really nicely now. And if I flip this side, this fits nicely too. Oh, and this part looks like it's part of a snowflake. This little arrowhead shape here. So we have the keys fitting very nicely. Okay, so we put this aside and see if we can find that snowflake. There's not that many left. Let's see. Actually, have we opened it? Oh, right there. Yep. It's that little arrowhead with a diamond at the end of it. And to follow instructions, just checking. That's correct. So that's day 22. And let's finish up. I think we're getting close to the end. Scarlett's surprising skill with a lockpick gains entrance to the lounge. Near the trapdoor, White trips over something, and its impact with her foot creates a deep thud. What the? She mutters, bending down to examine it. But before White can pick it up, Peacock snatches it away. My muff! I must have dropped it during the blackout, she says. It must be a pretty dense muff to trip me as badly as it did, White grumbles, rubbing her foot gingerly. Well, it is, Peacock huffs, but looks away quickly. Green is struck by a sudden thought. As horrible as this may sound, if Body is dead, there's a chance he never sent the blackmail evidence. Mustard huffs indignantly. Quite a suspicious thought, Green, but since you mention it, I won't mind checking to see if the hard drive is still there. The rest say nothing as they follow Mustard and Green toward the dining room. As they pass the hall, Green darts in and with apparent embarrassment kicks the glass fragments and dented iron base of a large snow globe into a corner. But he cannot conceal the wet puddle of its spilled water. In the dining room, the dinner plates are not yet cleared, but a towering meringue mountain has been set up on a side table. In the middle of the center of the table lies the hard drive in exactly the spot it would be expected to rest once the ice sculpture had fully melted. Although very wet, the hard drive looks untouched. With a mixture of relief and guilt, 5 people think, whoever killed Black stopped him from sending his blackmail. And one person worries, I stopped him from blackmailing me, but will I get away with it? Alright, let's open door 22. We have a seating layout of the dining table and a clue of a dropped muff, which will go here, and instructions. Dinner notes for tonight. Let's see, 4 cards. Mr. Black is seated at the head of the table. I don't know. Alright, why don't we do the jigsaw puzzle and then we can use the clues to figure out where the table, what's happening at this table. I presume that's makes the most sense since is it this way or is it this way? Nope, the table decoration carries on this way. So alright, so we have a picture. Mr. Black is seated at the head of the table, so I guess that would be this one. Colonel Mustard has requested a large ribeye steak. How do I make this more visible? Let's lift it a little bit. Help any? Not really. Let me get the jigsaw box. There. Okay. Alright, Mr. Black is seated at the head of the table. Colonel Mustard has requested a large ribeye steak. The steaks, looks like that's the only steak. Alright, let's make notes on this. Mustard and Black. Miss Scarlett is a pescatarian and only eats fish. There's 2 fishes, here or here. So Scarlett is in one of those spots. Chef White will make a salad for herself and anyone who wants it. And there's 2 salads here, so White is here or here. Mr. Black requested that Colonel Mustard and Mayor Green sit across from each other. So Green is here. That means White, for some reason, who's eating with everybody else, is here. Professor Plum has made clear he will not sit next to Mayor Green. So which means the only space for Professor Plum will be here. That means Scarlet is the pescatarian, is the other fish, and that's here. Solicitor Peacock has requested to sit near Mr. Black. I mean, by elimination, that's already her location. So we have those spots, but we also have dots on the seat, which means dot, 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 dot. So 1, 2, 3, which is of Scarlet, Mustard, and Peacock. But we have been working with single colors, 3-digit numbers, and snowflake shapes, which is, this is an ordering of 3 colors, which is odd. Although the instruction book says after day 22 we're supposed to do something, right? Let's go back to instructions. We're playing day 22. Oh wait, no, there was numbers on the bottom of these characters. We can place them if we remember what each person looks like. Alright, here's Peacock. Peacock has the gown. I remember commenting on her gown. So she's number 3, the 3rd digit, and she has number 5 on her base. Right there. Alright, these come into play too. So, okay, these match their portraits, so it's at least, this looks like Mustard. Mustard was here. Oh hey, how convenient. He's number 2. And this dress was Scarlet, I believe. That's the picture. I can't see the picture because I placed a thing on top of it, but I'm pretty sure that's her. Which, alright, conveniently I managed to find the 3 we need. So that gets us the number 7, I think. That looks like 7. 7, 2, 5. Let's go to this and check it out. Seven. Let's go back to the chat as well. 5. That's 2. 7, 2, 5. Empty square, filled star, and filled hexagon. So let's move these guys a little bit. Empty square. Wait, none of these seem to be that. Let's check the book answer, I guess, to make sure we're on the right track here. Looks like our first digit was wrong. Our first digit was supposed to be Scarlet, and Scarlet was to go in a ball gown. You know what? That's not 7, that's a 1. So let's see. Yeah, it's a 1. So modify that first digit to a 1. Where is it? So circle, star, hexagon, which leaves dining room, which hasn't been opened yet. And the book says, yep, dining room. So that would be day 23. Now, the instruction book said how to play day 23. Read the day 23 story on page 47 of the storybook. Open the day's door, review the clue cards, look at all the clue cards in the envelope, and refer back to the storybook as needed to piece together who killed Black, where, and with what. So this is the final big puzzle. Make your final guess for who, where, and what. The where is the door you'll open tomorrow and must be one of the remaining unopened rooms on the Tudor Mansion map. Alright, so story time for day 23. Let's finish this out. Everyone stares at the hard drive until the blare of sirens jolts them out of their reverie. Pointing to the window, White explains, the mansion's alarm system notifies the police if the power goes out. They'll arrive in a few minutes. In his most persuasive politician's tone, Green says, as horrible as Boddy's death is, we can all agree that it saved us from the unflattering secrets he threatened to reveal, given that it is in all our interest to get our story straight. Mustard shakes his head. I refuse to lie when I'm an innocent man. We must solve this ourselves and be ready to hand the killer over to the police when they arrive. We all have a motive. The police will find suspicious, and I have no wish to be hauled in for questioning. And with your statement, Green, says Peacock, you've become the prime suspect. I was just pointing out the obvious, Green protests. This question kicks off a flurry of accusations. Yelling, finger pointing, and arguments ensue as each person both accuses others and defends themselves. However, it becomes clear that each person is committed to their alibi and no one will confess to the crime. Only a correct accusation of the true murderer will spare the other five. You have reached the end of the story. There are no more puzzles to solve, no hints on the back of this page. Open the dining room door and remove the 6 clue cards from inside. Add these to the envelope holding the clue cards you've already found. Review all the clue cards as well as any days in the storybook where you'd like to read again. Then write your guess below for who killed Body Black, where, and with what. Okay, last puzzle. Bunch of statements. That's a lot of statements. Okay. So we have 6 statements, one from each suspect. You have reached the end of the night. Review all the clue cards and reread the stories needed. Then decide blah blah blah. Okay, same thing. So we have a lot of cards. You want some paper so you can see. I guess we have to read these. All right, let's do a little bit of sorting first. Let's weapons, locations, and people. All right. Solicitor Peacock. When the lights died, I was headed to the dining room, maybe, to look for Black and convince him that blackmail would be bad for both of us. I tried to feel my way to the library in the dark, but I've never been good with directions and instead mustered in the lounge. We both went to the library and then a conservatory where we found Black's body and the pistol I borrowed from Black's safe. So let's give her the pistol. I don't know how we got there though. I lost it at some point in the night. Scarlet was in the conservatory, right? Maybe she grabbed it when we ran into each other. I've never been good at these deductive steps, but let's try. Colonel Mustard, unlike my dinner companions, I recognized Black's advantage. It was his home and his terms of engagement, so I retreated to a quiet room to plan my counterattack, but was interrupted by Peacock and Black himself. I moved to the lounge where a few others came and went, but I was alone there when the lights went out. I heard strange noises, but took little notice in the dark. Peacock then appeared out of nowhere, and we found the source of the outage via a library circuit breaker and discovered Black's body in the conservatory. I exclaimed rather loudly, and I imagined that led the others to me. If anybody wants to chime in the chat about what they think I should be doing with these cards, feel free to make a comment. I'll read that after I get through all these statements. All right, so Chef White. After that nightmare of a dinner, I spent the rest of the evening making dessert in the kitchen. You wouldn't believe how long a meringue cake takes. I don't know what everyone else was up to, but Plum and Scarlet came in a few times when I was working. I barely finished the cake in time and had just put it in the dining room when the lights went out. I used the lighter I keep in my pocket and followed Mustard's shout to the conservatory. Body was a bad employer, but he didn't deserve to die, especially since he was paying me more than he knew. Yeah. All right. Professor Plum. I found myself thrown together with Miss Scarlet for much of the night, quite by coincidence. We visited the kitchen together twice, and White was just leaving with her cake when we arrived the second time. Scarlet and I waited in the kitchen, hoping that Black would visit and we could confront him when we were there. We were alone in there when the lights went out. She disappeared immediately in the dark, and by the time I was able to get out my keychain flashlight, Mustard had screamed. I deemed it more prudent to find him than look for Scarlet, and quickly found him and Peacock in the conservatory. Miss Scarlet, I spent most of my time searching Body's study for blackmail against him. Unfortunately, he's a cautious man, and I found nothing but a secret passageway to the kitchen. I discovered a secret passageway between the conservatory and the lounge and remembered leaving both of his doors open. I also ran into Peacock, who was searching for the source of a horrible piano melody. I was in the kitchen again with Plum when the power died. Suspecting another trick from Body, I took the passageway to his study, but Mustard's shout startled me and I left the study quickly to find out what happened. Mayor Green. The powers of my office are considerable, but I still have to answer to my donors. I spent the night making phone calls to some of them seeking help. They weren't sympathetic to my dilemma. I was in the hall when the power died, trying to call in a favor from some unpleasant yet useful associates. Unlike Plum, Mustard, and White, I had no light in the dark. I stumbled over a table and knocked the snow globe off a shelf. Alright, fine. He gets the snow globe. Its glass ball shattered and cut my hand in pain, and with no light, I was quite slow to find everyone in the conservatory. Alright, wait. Smashed scanner and closed door. Who found the smashed scanners? Too much going on. All right. What do we do, boys? Do we have to go back to the story and figure out where people were handling each of these? Like this scarf. This was Chef White's scarf. I remember that. And one of the, was it Mustard was holding the fire iron? There was a lot going on. Let's see. Who was poking the fire with the fire iron? It was Mustard. Alright, let's give him the fire iron for now. And marble bust. Didn't Miss Scarlet knock over the marble bust and put it back on its pedestal? Where was that? Yes, it was Scarlet. It's just ice chisel. We don't know who took the ice chisel. Leave that for now. Alright, the muff. Whose muff was that? I know it's one of the ladies, but I don't remember that. Peacock. It was Peacock wearing a fluffy muff. So the lounge was where the drop muff was. So let's give her the muff. So these are many unknown locations. Okay, so when you got to the conservatory, who was there? Because there's 2 clues in the conservatory. Let's see. Peacock and Mustard enter the conservatory. I guess the 2 of them were first. But we don't know. Those are just clues. And then with music. Alright, we've got a lot of stuff. Does anybody have any thoughts on what we should be doing this? This is not my strength. Let's check the book to see what else they've given us. Nope, these are just for the daily puzzles. Nothing to do with the final puzzle. Okay. So, Smash Scanner. I feel like I associate that with Miss Scarlet. She was like picking the locks and stuff. But the music ends. We don't know who. The music ended when it was in the music. Where was the piano? Oh my goodness! I feel like I should have been like taking notes as all these happen. All right. Let's go back to where he was learning to play the piano, somewhere in the middle of the story, I believe. Okay, so we already have origin of poorly played music. Okay, day 14. It was in the ballroom. No. Yes. So, but was anybody found in the ballroom? I don't think we even went back to the ballroom ever. Nope, I don't think so. And there's no way we get any clues. Although we have some doors that we haven't opened. We can narrow it down because they do tell us that one of those is the door for the final killing. Oh, what a mess. I should use my clipboard. So the doors that we have opened are here. Kitchen, ballroom. Oh wow, kitchen, ballroom, study. All right. The music was in the ballroom. And then we found these 2 are the conservatory clues. I have no idea what I'm doing. Does anybody else have a suggestion on how to approach this stuff? This is the unknown locations to the bank that crash and the secret passageway that was probably between the study and the kitchen, if I remember correctly. And then we have everybody with being messing with things. So, okay, I'm going to flip through the story quickly and find the places where weapons were first mentioned and associate those with people again. Like, okay, we already know that, was it Peacock that took the pistol? And feel free to mention in the chat if you're thinking of anything. This is where you got lost too. Did you already play this? This is really confusing. Because like when you play the board game, there's actual information you can use to eliminate things so that you can figure out the answer. This one seems to be an actual solve the mystery based on clues that you are reading and may not have paid attention to during the days. And I read everything, so everybody heard everything. And I clearly, my eyeballs saw it, but my brain has not absorbed all of it. Okay, so we have okay, the ice chisel disappeared, but a bunch of people were in the room at the time. Scanning. Yeah, I think everybody was in the room. So everybody left, and that's when the ice chisel disappeared. I think the ice chisel is the one they haven't found yet. So that this is probably mean this is the weapon. I'm just gonna go with that. Yes, Peacock stole the pistol and put it inside her muff. Let's put it in the lounge. And Green had the what you call it, snow globe. Where was the snow globe found? Broken. It was, his hand was bleeding, and that was in the conservatory. But I think we came to the story seemed to imply that the killing did not happen in the conservatory. Rather, he was dragged there because, in fact, the rooms there are still locked. None of them are the conservatory. So, but that leaves that here. All right. And okay, back to the fire iron story. No, the scarf. White had the scarf, but that was in the kitchen, was it not? That's slightly suspicious. All right, the bust. Where did we see the bust? In the study. Aha. And Miss Scarlet has been going through the what you call it, secret passages in and out of the study. I feel these are so thin, but it's what we have. All right, so now we have mustard with the fire iron in the ballroom. That's where the piano is. Okay. Wait, but mustard leaves with the fire iron. Oh, he leaves without the fire iron, but in the ballroom. Okay. And so the only person we cannot place anywhere is Plum with the ice chisel. But which room did he do it in? I don't know if there's a clue to that. Well, if the music stops during the death, it would make sense that it was in the ballroom. So, which means by elimination we have Professor Plum with the ice chisel in the ballroom, which feels really thin. My logic has been very hand-wavy. But we don't get any hints on this day. So, let's go with that. Alright, so... Oh, wait, it says guess right, guess wrong. How do I know whether to guess right? Open the door. Oh, I see. I mean, I'll eventually open all the doors so we just see what's behind. Oh, wait, you know, we never used these two either. I have no idea how to use these doors. These two clues. The unknown locations with Bang, thud, crash sounds in the dark, and the smashed scanner and closed door. Does the scanners being smashed eliminate the usage of the what you call this secret passage? All right, let's open the bottle. See what we get. Is that a medal? Does that mean, is that a good thing? Does that mean we won? At dinner, Peacock picked up the ice chisel from the table and concealed it in her muff. She then stole the pistol from Black's library safe and added it to her muff. After encountering Scarlet, Peacock followed the piano music Black was playing. She continued her confrontation with Black in the ballroom, and when he refused to stop blackmailing her, she bashed him with the ice chisel. She then returned the chisel to her muff and dragged the body to the conservatory. Peacock used the pistol to try and shoot out a window and escape. However, the bullet ricocheted and hit a flower pot. Water dripped from the bullet hole onto an electrical box, shorting out the power. In the darkness, Peacock fled through the conservatory's secret passageway to the lounge. She smashed the scanner and closed the door behind her, hoping to deter anyone else from using the passage. Then she accidentally dropped her muff before being found by Colonel Mustard. I think that secret passageway clue was probably the thing I did not use properly. The ice chisel we figured out. The room we got, it was the person that I actually had no idea. I only had Plum because it was by elimination, but it was actually Peacock. So I was 2/3 right, and I did get an awesome little medal for it. Ooh. Okay, what did the last part of the book say? Guessed right? Read this. All eyes turned to Solicitor Peacock, whose eyes flashed defiantly in the whirling lights of the police cars that slowing to stop outside the mansion. Yes, I killed him in the ballroom, she exclaims. I worked hard to earn my power and prestige, and I refused to let a spoiled financier like Body Black have control over me with blackmail. He said he just wanted to help with his hotel, but who knows what he would have asked for next. No one says anything, but banging can be heard at the mansion's front door, along with muffled calls of, "Police! Open up!" Together, the other 5 circle around Peacock and escort her to the hall and the waiting police. Mustard opens the door and hands Peacock over to them, while Green speaks quietly with the officers, explaining her crimes. And I'm really curious now to see what else is behind. Oh, beep! That one says X, wrong room. And this one also says beep, X, wrong room. So we didn't quite solve it, but we did get the right room. I count that as mostly a win, and we got a lot of fun things, and we saw the whole game. Wow, thank you so much for hanging out with me. This is awesome. I'm gonna write up my review after this and let people know whether this would not be a fun game for them. And yeah, this was really fun. Thank you so much, Kimbo Sliced Bread, for being here the whole time. And all the other people who dropped in and out without chatting, but you were welcome too. This was cool. This was the first year I think that Clue was doing it. And I suppose they could always come up with a new story with a different mansion, a similar mansion but different, character roles. But on the whole, yeah. I've got a lot of other advent calendars, so missing this one for this year at least, is not the end of the world. But again, thank you so much. And I think that's going to wrap up for today. It's been over 2 hours, more than planned, but we did great. So thanks again, and hope to see you all soon, and happy puzzling.